Welcome to Watershed Watch. This short intro is intended to give you a broad overview of how the program functions and answer some general questions about how you can get involved as a volunteer stream sampler. First, you should know our mission statement. We support water quality monitoring that informs, connects, and empowers volunteers and their communities for the improvement and protection of Kentucky's water resources. The program was first formed in 1997 to help support a statewide initiative to build community engagement in Kentucky's water quality monitoring and management program. Thousands of people have been trained by Watershed Watch to sample water quality in streams throughout Kentucky since the program first formed. Your interest and time are greatly appreciated as we work to build a stronger network of people who are better informed about water quality conditions and ways to protect our valuable water resources. The three founding partners, Kentucky Division of Water, Kentucky Waterways Alliance, and the Kentucky Sierra Club, worked together to create the Volunteer Water Monitoring Program. These organizations remain involved in Watershed Watch, and we have gained many more critical partners along the way, some of which are listed on the right-hand side of this slide. We hope to continue to grow this list of partners. The overarching purpose of Kentucky Watershed Watch is to provide the training and support for a network of volunteer samplers to conduct regular monitoring of Kentucky streams and help participants understand their sampling results in the context of water quality principles. Samplers should also gain a better understanding of actions they can take to help protect and improve stream conditions. We achieve this goal through three main steps. First, we prepare samplers through training and access to sampling supplies. We are also working to build a support hub network that will help provide more convenient access to those supplies. Then, the monitoring of streams can occur anytime, but statewide coordinated monitoring takes place 3 times each year, during the second weeks of May, July, and September. Samplers are encouraged to participate in sampling teams for greater effectiveness and to make it safer and more enjoyable. After sampling, data is entered into a publicly accessible database. Following sampling activities, anyone can view the sampling results and use accompanying guidance to understand their meaning. Various resources will be provided on the Watershed Watch website to help with interpretation of results in the context of local land use and other conditions. Suggested activities and partnering organizations are also provided. Watershed Watch sampling volunteers are important because you help provide eyes and awareness for all of the streams that are not officially monitored by the Kentucky Division of Water or other government agencies. Kentucky is blessed with over 90,000 miles of streams, one of the highest stream mileage coverages of all 50 states. Due to financial and staffing limitations, the Division of Water is only able to monitor about 15% of the state's water bodies for its biannual report to Congress on the water resources of Kentucky. We are able to help provide the division with baseline water quality data, alert them to any significant changes in conditions, and help with focused sampling projects to determine effectiveness of their water quality management activities. There are also 2 instances when you should directly contact Kentucky's Energy and Environment Cabinet. When you see a spill or the dumping of hazardous substances such as petroleum products, you should contact the state's emergency response team. They will follow up to assess and manage the situation. When you suspect that an environmental permit is being violated, you should contact one of the state's regional field offices. They are responsible for conducting a site visit to determine if violations are occurring and address them if they are. Complaints to field offices can be made by phone or online. Phone numbers and contact information are posted on the regional field office website, and the Division of Water has dedicated staff in each office. An online form for submitting complaints or concerns is also available on the regional office webpage. Note that you can submit a complaint anonymously or provide contact information for staff to call you with any questions or provide their findings to you. When submitting a complaint, specific location information and photos are very helpful. Watershed Watch provides 4 different approaches to assessing and understanding stream health. We analyze physical and chemical conditions by making visual observations and taking measurements of temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, and conductivity. We assess bacteriological conditions by assessing E. coli concentrations in the water, which helps us understand whether or not a waterway is safe for recreational use. For a fuller understanding of how well the stream can support aquatic life, we assess habitat conditions. These are the physical characteristics of the stream and the land adjacent to the stream, such as how much the stream banks are eroding or the width of the trees and other vegetation along the stream corridor. And to better understand biological conditions, we collect and identify aquatic macroinvertebrate insects to determine the types and numbers that the stream supports. When we find the aquatic larval form of insects such as mayflies, dragonflies, and damselflies, that serves as an indicator of high quality water, since they can only survive in ideal conditions. Other types of insects such as crayfish or crawdads and certain types of snails are more tolerant of pollution. Watershed Watch samplers are supported by various levels of its organizational structure. Sampling teams can provide support for stream monitoring activities, discussion of findings, and any action interest. Community support hubs are there to help with providing sampling supplies, meeting space, and possibly technical assistance. Some of the basins will continue to have steering committees that guide basin-specific projects and activities and organize regional events such as annual conferences. And a central board with broad representation of Kentucky's water interests meets regularly to oversee and guide the sampling organization. The board works with program coordinators to implement organizational activities. Currently, a staff member of the Kentucky Division of Water serves as a volunteer coordinator, and temporary funding is supporting an additional program coordinator. In 2024, Watershed Watch is beginning to recruit these local support hubs who can provide closer, more convenient volunteer support. These can be based on county offices such as cooperative extension, conservation districts, or water utilities, at local libraries or community colleges, or even by sampling team leaders. A system will be utilized to help track loaned sampling kits and other supplies to ensure that they are available for as many samplers as possible. Hubs have the option to provide a range of other assistance, such as space for meetings, assistance with identifying sampling locations, help with data entry to the online database, understanding sampling results, and development of community projects. If samplers have an interest in promoting the organization at community events, the hubs may also be able to provide Watershed Watch materials. Also, beginning in 2024, Watershed Watch is encouraging samplers to participate as sampling teams. Teams can refer to samplers who share sampling sites or a group of samplers who sample in a common area. This gradual transition from individual sampling will likely take some time, but it is hoped that it will make participation less stressful and more enjoyable and encourage consideration of sampling findings. Interested samplers will need to complete the training process, which will include a combination of online videos and an in-person practice session. After completing the online content and short quizzes, volunteers will indicate their readiness for the in-person session with a certified trainer. Once the in-person training is completed, the volunteer will receive an email prompting them to log in to the Watershed Watch database as a certified sampler. After logging in, the newly trained volunteer can join a sampling team, set up sampling site locations, and identify the nearest support hub. Hubs will gradually become more available over the course of the year as more sign up. Once you are certified to sample, you will need to decide where you are going to do your sampling. First, to keep yourself engaged and motivated, you should seek out a stream location that is both accessible and of interest to you. This can be on your personal property, if you are lucky enough to have a stream running through your land. It can be somewhere that is publicly accessible, like a community park, or it may be selected to complement a larger sampling effort, such as a watershed area. Just make sure that you have permission to cross property to enter the stream. You also want it to be relatively easy to access so that you don't risk hurting yourself, and have somewhere that you can set up your sampling supplies, such as a flat rock or stream bank. The stream should be deep enough to collect a water sample, but not so deep that it is difficult to wade into. Ideally, you should choose a stream reach that has regular flows and that does not dry up in the summer and fall. The particular location you choose to sample should be at a significant distance, at least 200 feet, from any major tributaries or outfall pipes to ensure mixing of that contribution with the stream's water. And if you access your site from a bridge, try to walk a few hundred feet upstream of the bridge to avoid potential influences from the stream obstruction. One other pointer regarding sampling locations, if you are searching for an ideal site, is to consider sampling just upstream of the downstream mouth of a tributary before it enters a larger stream. By doing this, you can capture and assess contributions from that sub-watershed area and understand how it may be affecting the larger stream it enters. This approach is commonly used in formal watershed assessment monitoring design. To aid you in seeking permission to sample a stream site on private property, Watershed Watch has recently developed this brochure that can be printed and provided to the landowner. It explains the purpose of the sampling and enables confirmation of your ability to sample on the property. If you need a printed copy of this brochure, you can contact the Watershed Watch coordinators. This is the inside of the brochure with the landowner permission form that you can keep for your records. Here is the typical calendar schedule of Watershed Watch activities. We try to focus training workshops in the spring prior to the first sampling event, which falls during the second week in May. For those who are interested and have received training to conduct a habitat and/or biological assessment of their stream, we suggest that samplers do this in June, when aquatic macroinvertebrates are commonly found. Then we have 2 more coordinated sampling events during the second weeks of July and September. Although this is the calendar of coordinated activities, the new sampling program offers the freedom to print data forms, analyze E. coli, and enter your own sampling results at any time. Each year, Watershed Watch organizers will post and publicize the sampling dates. Then, about 1 month prior to each event, samplers will receive an email prompt to register to participate. This enables program coordinators to help ensure that samplers have the supplies and support that they need. For example, R cards or sampling bottles may need to be distributed to support hubs or mailed directly to samplers. During the coordinated one-week sampling periods, volunteers should complete the sampling procedures at their site or sites and use the new data portal to enter their results along with a photo of their data form. Guidance for completing the data form and the procedure for entering your results will be covered in additional training modules. Once your data are entered, you will be able to access them along with a comparison to related water quality benchmarks or standards. Additional tools for understanding and interpreting your findings will be developed later this year. Your data and knowledge are for you and your sampling team to use and act upon as you wish. Here are some suggestions for things that you can do. From getting together with other samplers in your area to discuss your results, to considering additional sampling locations that might be insightful, to presenting about your activities to community groups, to developing and carrying out a community project that could benefit your stream of interest. Project ideas and helpful resources are available on the Community Project page under the Get Involved tab of the Watershed Watch website. Thank you for watching this introductory video to Kentucky's Watershed Watch program. We greatly appreciate your interest and hope you will continue with the next steps to becoming a certified volunteer sampler with our organization. Here are the steps involved. We have created a Google Classroom with training modules that include presentations and short quizzes for each of the topics. Once you have watched this series of videos, you can set up your in-person practice session with a Watershed Watch trainer. After meeting with a trainer at a stream location, you will be official and ready to start monitoring a stream of your choice.